Hello, hello, class. Welcome to our first online broadcast. As you can see, this broadcast is going to be a little rough around the edges, as it always is. Um, First thing I do every broadcast is I show you the announcement that I am creating, and I will put the link up for our live broadcast here in a second. I have to get the link, and this is one of the things that it only provides the link once I start, so you're going to have to be just a little patient here with me for our live broadcast. Whoop! Streamception there, but I got the broadcast link, so here we go. Copy and paste that in there. See, the questionnaire link is there. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and hit the submit button. This should provide you with a link. There we go. So it'll be emailed to all of you, and we can probably go ahead and get started with our agenda. Um, so really, we only have a couple things that we're doing tonight. I'm going to go over some common questions, and which are really only two of them, and then we're going to go over the introduction speech, which will be due. Oh my goodness, I didn't write a field here for when it's due. It is due next Sunday, which will be May 28th. By 11:59 p.m. and I will, when we go over how to turn it in, I will create that assignment link there for you. Excuse me. Okay, I just had a late dinner as well, so I apologize for any um, biological noises. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our agenda today. Um, let's see. Some common questions that I got over the week were that I'm kind of confused on how to order the textbook, and the video that I posted that was pre-recorded did kind of go over this, and it's really the same procedure. I'll show you again. Um, it was still one of the most common questions, and of course my browser here is um, got some security features I need to disable. um, Okay. One thing I need to do is actually I need to go back and bring up my actual broadcaster's view of my actual live stream. That might be fun so that I can talk to you. See if anyone's watching. Okay, there's actually a good sizable number of you watching right now. Hello. If you have a Google account, by the way, um, you can sign in, and or if you have a YouTube account, YouTube and Google are the same. Um, So go ahead and sign in, and this will allow you to type something in the live chat box like this. Hello. And you can see it. If I am not mistaken, people can also, when they watch the archive, they can also see a record of the chat when the archive is done processing or whatever it is. Um, so there we go. So that's how you can communicate with me. I do a fairly good job of looking at the live chat, if I do say so myself, but do be aware that there's a good 20-second to maybe one whole minute delay. But anyway, about ordering the textbook, you want to go to bsu.bncollege.com. That is where you will find um, this information here. Okay, good. Okay, so this will bring you to this web page here. You want to click on textbooks, find textbooks. It's always easier to just find it. Okay, and we are in, I know it's summer 2017, department, Comm, course 210. And really you can select any section here. We happen to be 810. Find materials for this one course. And it does say iClicker here. Do not buy one. You do not need one, but you do need this. So go ahead and select the item here. Why don't I know how to do that? Okay, you can select the format, buy new, add to cart, quantity 1. Alright, so you have one course material, do the cart. And then from here, you would hit checkout, enter in your details, and it will be shipped to you very quickly. Usually it's just a couple of days. Now, let's see. That's that. It should bring two books to you. Some of you have asked, what if I can find it used from a friend? The only thing I would say to that is make sure that you get both books and make sure that you have the grade sheets for each of the speeches in the book. Ask the seller slash ask your friend who's giving you the book if you still have copies of those grade sheets. If you don't, then basically the workbook is useless and it's not worth any amount of money. um, we do not use necessarily any of the activities from the workbook, like a face-to-face section would. We do use the outline examples to help guide you, and of course the grade sheets are there so that you know how I'm grading your speeches, because otherwise I don't really have any other documentation to give you. We are all required in Comm 210 to use the same rubric, which again is in the workbook. So if you don't know what the rubric is because someone tore them all out, your grades are gonna be kind of a mystery. I mean, I will provide comments and such, but you'll probably be wondering, what I mean by, hey, you didn't use internal summaries and previews. That's on the rubric. It's explained there. So that's how you will be able to prepare for your assignments. Okay, so again, it's $66.30. Again, you can maybe find it used, but again, make sure that it has the grade sheets with it. If it doesn't, it's pretty useless. Okay. Let's go. Okay, where's our agenda? There we go. So I just kind of showed you where to order the textbook. So where's this darn questionnaire? Well, I did have it as a link under our course content, but I think when I emailed that out to you, at least to some of you, it got caught by clutter. I've noticed that things that are not in announcements tend to get caught by clutter. In some respects, I knew better than that. On the other hand, it works. I have no idea how your Outlook is set up, and a lot of us use the default settings, which are pretty strict. So I wish I could give you advice about how to maybe loosen them for other online courses, but for now, if I'm not worried about it, you don't need to be worried about it. So we're just going to roll with the punches, and so what you need to do is on this thing, I have this alternative link to the questionnaire. So this is how you can find it. If you didn't get a notification through Blackboard earlier, it should now be there under announcements. So you can go ahead and highlight that, copy and paste it into your browser, and let's go ahead and head there. And here we are. This is all it is. It's 6 questions. Most of it deals with your familiarity with certain pieces of technology, and whether or not you've taken a speech course before. And the important one, at least for me, the important question, I can provide you with a lot of support in terms of how to record a speech, and we're going to kind of go over that tonight because you are going to be doing your first speech for this class as your assignment over this coming week. So but the thing that you really need to really focus on, make sure that you answer here is, when would you prefer a live broadcast for this class? I would really like to have a live broadcast for this course when you are available to watch it. As an online course and an asynchronous online course, of course, there is no attendance grade. Your attendance grade is mostly dealing with discussion assignments. And that's how I'll make sure that you're kind of working throughout the week, is by your participation on the discussion board. However, live broadcasts are an opportunity for us to interact, which usually doesn't happen in an online course. And the videos themselves kind of form a basis on which I can give course content to you without having to type it all out. And I know that you'll probably appreciate something that you can kind of just watch and or listen to as opposed to something you have to read and take notes over that way. Um, so, in any case, I've gotten good feedback about live broadcasts. Anyway, the point is, I would like to schedule them when people can actually watch. And I know that there will be times when you personally can't watch it, or maybe times like tonight. I hadn't broadcast in a while. I was about maybe probably about 5 weeks, actually. Wow. Since I last did a live broadcast. And during that time, my software all updated. YouTube updated, my broadcast software updated, and all that bric-a-brac. So the hour I had set aside to prepare myself for this broadcast, I needed more time. So I'm sorry about that. But in any case, I do try to meet these times fairly punctually. Um, Anyway, so what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to write down the day of the week and maybe a range of times that you would be available during that time. Please do plan on maybe setting aside half an hour to 45 minutes to watch a video a week. Towards the end of the semester, I think I have a pretty good course calendar set out for us in the syllabus where it's basically one speech is due a week. And so the way the pattern will go is that this week was kind of a not very intense week because it was the first week and you need your textbook. So I gave you that break. But from now on, what will happen is on whenever the broadcast day is, which for right now is Sunday, but let's say we choose Wednesday. So I'll probably go live again on, say, Wednesday. And I will assign the following week's speech. And the idea is that you're working to turn in a speech while also you're not working, you're recording to turn in a speech that you started the previous week. So you're basically doing two kinds of speech assignments at the same time. It is kind of intense in that way. Um, but it's a 5-week course, and they don't excuse me as an instructor from assigning you any less work, unfortunately. Um, 'Cause believe me, I would like to just do a couple speeches myself, but I will watch all of your speeches and consider them carefully for grading. Nonetheless, please do, when I'm working up here, please tell me when is a convenient time to watch the broadcast. So I will choose a time when most people are available, and we'll do it that way. And again, there's no problem if you can't make it at the scheduled time. You can just watch it later. The same link that I posted here tonight, this one right here, you can click on it or copy and paste it tomorrow or whenever you happen to get the email, and you'll be able to watch this entire video in its entirety, and its unedited, rambly glory will be there for you. All right. So go ahead and fill this survey out, and do that as soon as possible. It's not very lengthy, but there are some important questions here, so I know how better to serve you. Okay, so let's see. We can get rid of that. Our next on our agenda is to assign the intro speech. We are just slamming right along, folks. So here we go. Assign the intro speech. Now the time for this speech should be fairly short, just 3 minutes maximum. And again, unlike other courses, your the length of your assignments or the requirements of your assignments is not measured in how many pages your outlines are or how many pages your manuscript is. It's measured in how long it takes for you to talk it all out. So don't go over 3 minutes for this assignment. There's a couple reasons why. One, 3 minutes is actually fairly short, so it seems like a good way to get you warmed up. Two, 3 minutes is long enough, or short enough rather, that you can upload this two different ways. One, to either choose to upload it to YouTube or choose to upload it to Blackboard. Um, so Blackboard does have some size limits for the files that you can upload, which means that maybe for the longer speeches you might find that it'll take a while to upload, and then all of a sudden it'll kick you out and say, hey, this 3 gigabyte 1440p video is just too big for me to handle. Try better luck elsewhere. And that way, that's one reason why I'm going to go over um, how to turn it in on YouTube as well today. So anyway, so 3 minutes maximum. That's a nice manageable size. It'll create a nice manageable file size for you to upload. It'll also be manageable in terms of how much work you have to do. The purpose of this assignment, by the way, is to get you familiar with your camera and get you familiar with your recording situation, because that does take a lot of time. Like I said, I set aside about an hour or so to get prepared for tonight's broadcast, and I've already done this a couple free times for a whole semester, and it still took me more than an hour to just get things ready to hit the live button. So it can take a considerable amount of time to figure out where you need to be in the room, to figure out how to point the camera, to make sure that the audio is getting picked up, to make sure that your surroundings are well lit enough that we can actually see you. It also takes some time to figure out where your video files might be if you're maybe not familiar with recording from your laptop or desktop. I know a lot of people use cell phones for Instagram and things like that. Um, or Vine, I guess, is the new like 10-second video service. But in either case, um, you'll probably have to use a computer for this. I'm not really aware how you might use your cell phone, but then again, I maybe you know something that I don't. But anyway, the point is, it will take a while for you to get this set up. So please, when we go over this assignment, um, do start on it as soon as you see this video. It does take a while. It'll hope the setup time will get shorter the more experienced you get. But this first time, I'll be honest with you, it's going to take you a while to figure out where to position yourself, where to position the camera, where your files are, and which method of turning in your speech you prefer. Okay, so anyway, time, 3 minutes maximum. Questions. I would really only like you to answer. This assignment is kind of like any generic classroom icebreaker. um, it's not too intense. So the questions I would like for you to answer are, there's three of them. One, what is your name and major? If you don't have a major, what is your favorite subject? Question two, where are you from? Tell us something interesting about your hometown. And then question the third, um, tell us a fact about yourself that people may not know from your previous two answers, is what I mean. Okay, so something kind of unrelated to anything in this area here. Um, and so if you're organizing your thoughts here, that means you can spend a maximum of 1 minute answering each question. So you don't just need to don't necessarily just say, my name's Billy Smith and I'm studying writing. I'm from Carmel, Indiana. And one thing you don't know about me is that my middle name is Thomas. All right. Do try to make your answers a little bit more elaborate than that. So maybe for question one here, what is your name and major, or what's your favorite subject? Might want to answer why. What made you? Was there a time you can point to, make you interested? Something to kind of draw out that question a little bit more. So some ideas for like question number two. Tell us something interesting about your hometown. So instead of saying you're from, I just forget where I use about from Boonville, Indiana. Maybe you can tell us why it's named Boonville in a short little, because um, Boone traveled through there, and that's where he met Dave Bowie, and there where they invented their famous knife, and also the cheeseburger restaurant franchise. And I know I totally slammed all of those things together, but um, tell us something interesting about your hometown. Don't just say I'm from blank. and then move on. Go ahead and elaborate just a little bit, maybe what you like about your town. Some people are kind of cynical and maybe they'll tell us what they don't like about their town, but nonetheless, kind of elaborate there. And then, of course, tell us a fact. You can kind of list out your hobbies, explain why you are interested in them. Okay, so really the assignment's not that big, but do draw out your answers a little bit more. Again, 3 minutes maximum. Um, and do try to provide some elaboration. You do want to create a fairly sizable video, no more than 3 minutes. Again, that's a maximum. But you do want to create a sizable enough video that you can get some practice uploading something that might take a while. All right, all these videos do take a while to upload. That's another thing you'll have to consider in this class as well. Is if it's due at 11:59 p.m., your video might take 3 hours to upload. I don't know. Wi-Fi kind of kicks in and out if you're still on campus. I had lots of students last semester actually have 3 hour uploads. So just be ready for that. One thing I will not do though is that if you're turning things into Blackboard, I will not make the link disappear. So if it does take 3 hours to upload, as long as you started it before 11:59 p.m., the timestamp will still show the time you started the upload, not necessarily when it's finished. So I'll know that you turned it in on time, even if it's not there. Plus, I'm not gonna stay awake until midnight just to make sure everybody turned their stuff in. That's something I'll do the follow on May 29th. But anyway, so how do we turn this in? There are two methods. YouTube or Blackboard. Now, if you have like a third way that you much prefer, where you'll do your best work, then in that survey I gave you, you can list that out, and I will humor you and maybe use that alternative video service. But that's only, again, if you know what you're doing. If you've never uploaded a video before, then please limit yourself to either YouTube or Blackboard. If you're really experienced, but you're experienced in something that's not YouTube, then I'll go ahead and I'll try to work with you there. But otherwise, your choices are YouTube or Blackboard. So how do you upload things to YouTube? It's actually pretty easy. The first step you do is you create a Google account, which most people have already, just because of the way that Google is in our modern American society. But you have to create a Google account, log into YouTube, and then third step, drag and drop your video to the upload bar. And then the fourth thing will be to set video settings. All right, so we're going to do that real quick right now. All right, here we go. I have YouTube up here. Now I've already created an account. I've signed into it. It happens to be our classroom account. I even opened the folder here. You can see this is the video I did before I went live. And that's the video that's being recorded right now. We don't want to upload that one. But anyway, so there's an upload bar here. You just click on it. You want to bring up your folder, drag and drop. May not let me do it because I am already up. I am already streaming. That's something I hadn't figured before. But anyway, you would just pick this up and drag and drop. I really, it's kind of irritating when I'm trying to do a tutorial. It won't do it for me. But you can choose your privacy. Now, I would choose between public or unlisted. What unlisted means is that the video, the video you're uploading is not searchable or associated with your account. Well, I guess it is associated with your account, but people won't see it on your channel page. So that way, if you're really nervous or you don't want people random looky-loos, or at least the potential for random looky-loos to see your video, I would choose that. The reason I would not choose private is because you have to manually give me permission to view it. And the way you would do that is you would enter in my email address. And if you enter it in incorrectly, I can't watch your video. And this caused some problems last semester, where it seemed like pretty much every time um, somebody, it wasn't usually the same person, but somebody would mess up the privacy invite, and I would be unable to watch their video, and I would email them when I figured it out. But I'm grading these things as fast as I can. But if it's due on May 28th, I may not get around to seeing your individual video until June 1st. And so that's when I'll email you and say, hey, I can't see your video. You've got to redo it. um, and that, of course, might take you another day or two for you to see that email from me and to take action on it. Meanwhile, the class is moving on to different work, and this is going to be especially a problem this summer session. Um, so it's a good way to get behind, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But if you make the video unlisted, people can't search for it, but you can turn in the link to me. So I guess you'll just have to trust me on this, but when you drag and drop a file into this area, it will automatically generate a form with the name of the file, which is also the name of the video, which you can edit. And then you can also, the form itself is very self-explanatory, but it also gives you an address for where someone could directly link to your video. If you have it set to unlisted, that's all I need. So what you would do is you would just email me the link that this form gives you after the video uploads, and that way I can watch it, but no one else can see it. So that's a good way to keep your privacy, but at the same time, if you use private, it's a little bit more complicated, and it's difficult for me to realize that I can't see your video. So please make sure that you set it to either public or unlisted. Either way, you're going to have to give me a link here. I have to go back to our Word document. So step 5, this is very unwieldy here. Go ahead and proper so set video settings, and then you want to copy and paste the link the YouTube upload page gives you. You paste the link on the Blackboard assignment page. Okay. Now, if you're going to turn it in and then we paste the link into that little field there, and we're just about to go look at it, and you'll be good. And so let's go ahead and talk about how to submit something in Blackboard. So let's go back to our Blackboard page. I'm going to go ahead and create this assignment for you. So I'm going to build a content. Go ahead and create an assignment. This will be your intro speech. Right? Due date, let's pick a week from today, and it'll be due at the end of day. First speech assignment is worth 50 points. That's all in the rubric there. Okay, I'm not going to limit availability. Again, I'm nice like that. That's all we need to do, so let's go ahead and create this assignment real quick. All right, so you'll see this now when you go to our course content page. Go ahead and click on that. This brings up the assignment information and submission. Under the comments, you were going to turn in a video. And just control paste that, and that's what it'll look like here. YouTube watch video something or other, and you would hit submit. Now that's if you do it with YouTube. Do it with Blackboard. All you have to do is say browse my computer, and then you would navigate to wherever your speech is. Just say this is it. But say open, and it'll start uploading once you hit the submit button. Okay, and it could take a long time. Again, it might take a long time. Blackboard's a special kind of slow when it comes to uploading rather large files. And these video files do tend to be rather large because they're typically in HD, and they're typically got a lot of sound, continuous sound. So do be prepared for that. It may also, the download, or the upload might fail, in which case I would recommend that instead of trying to troubleshoot Blackboard, go ahead and try the YouTube method. because YouTube, again, is specifically designed to ingest video. It'll likely upload faster and more reliably. Again, I kind of recommend that. So Blackboard, the steps here, again, would be to click on the assignment link, assignment, course content, click browse computer, select video file, hit submit. Okay. And that's how you would do that. But again, Blackboard isn't quite as reliable, especially for larger video files. But enough hating on Blackboard. Let's go ahead and, well, there's 5 people watching. Usually at this point, we're kind of through our agenda here. We've gone over what the assignment details are. I've answered these questions here. I can't think of anything I would add to these steps here. I will go ahead and show you the program that a free program that you could use to record video. So let's say that all you have in this class is a desktop computer with a webcam and or microphone. And you don't have any other kind of software. You don't have iMovie. You don't have Windows Movie Maker. You're just kind of there with the camera, but nothing else. There's a handy dandy piece of software called Open Broadcaster Software. It's free to anyone. You just go to obsproject.com. You can download it. Once it's downloaded and installed, it'll pop up. You can double click the icon it gives you and double click here. Not so sure why my other one's not doing that. No, the other one's fine. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Anyway, so it'll bring up a window like this that's totally blank. So how you would set this up is you would right click here and add a source, like your video capture device, which would be it gives you this intermediate window here where you can name it. I don't rename things. I just say okay. And this will allow you to select this device menu drop down will allow you to select your webcam, and then all you have to do after that is hit OK. And then that should put up an image here instead of a black spot. Then all you have to do is adjust your settings a little bit. It's fairly easy. Make sure you don't need to deal with any of this stuff here. Because the defaults are usually pretty good. There is something under output that you need to change, and that's the recording path here, because it doesn't want to record things by default. So you want to go to your recording path and hit browse, and this will open up a window for your computer. You can right click an empty field here, say new folder, Comm 210 speeches, and then say select new folder. Of course, I'm not going to do that, but okay, well, I guess you are going to do that. But anyway, cancel that. And it'll set that as a recording path. So anytime you record a video, that's where the video will show up. I recommend making sure that your video is in MP4 format because it's very space efficient. Make sure your audio is correct. So if your audio is, you want to make sure that your microphone is identified here and it doesn't just say disabled, and you want to make sure that you have speakers that are identified here, that they're not just disabled. Under video, I would keep this the same. Maybe make sure that this is the same resolution for both, and it's the same resolution that your monitor is set at. You don't need to mess with either of these things. They might be a different setting, but you don't have to make it look like mine. And then finally, you want to go to Advanced, and under Recording, you want to say File Name Formatting, and this is where you'll name the files. So I use mine as StreamRec because I am streaming to you right now, and I want to record the video from that. But you could just name it, Comm 210, and then that'll create. Make sure that overwrite file, if exists, is unchecked. That way you can create more than one video, otherwise it'll just keep overwriting itself. And there you go. That'll be a way that you can, once you say OK, you say apply and OK, you can give changes. That way you can hit start recording here, and it'll record your video. That's a quick and dirty tutorial on how to use it. I can help you out over Skype if you need to use this software. I'm very familiar with it. Go ahead and just exit out of that. I don't want to set up OneDrive, darn it. Go away. That's my Chewbacca impression. All right. I guess between all of those things, that kind of wraps us up for tonight. If anyone has any questions that's out there watching the broadcast live, you can go ahead and ask now. I generally give like a full minute before I decide to move on, so prepare for some dead air. I am still live, and if you're watching this as the video archive, as a recorded video, I'm going to be just waiting for a moment to see if anyone is going to write me a question in the live chat window. While I'm waiting, I guess I'll just chat. Make sure that you know I'm still here. I've kind of toyed with the idea of having like a very soft soundtrack going. And that way people know that at least if there's some sound playing, even though the boring Word document doesn't change on the screen, that they know that I'm still here waiting for their questions. Just kind of roll back and forth. Oh, by the way, I am going to, you know what I can do while I'm waiting for a question? I can copy this and put it on our Blackboard as an announcement. Call it notes from today. A21 broadcast. Entos. All right. Send that out as an email as well. Submit. Evan, nice to meet you. And he says, light, smooth jazz is never a bad idea. You know, that is probably a good suggestion. I might play around with that. It doesn't seem like anyone has any questions, though. And again, that's okay. I did notice, and this is maybe where I look like a jerk, but I did notice, yeah, there's no posts under our support forum. I do tend to check the forums that I'll create for each assignment, which you know what I should do is create a post for this one. Intro speech or forum. Ask the instructor and your fellow classmates questions here about how to create or upload your intro speech. And always make sure that the author can edit their own posts and submit. So I do check this a little bit more than I check my email, just a little bit more. I also tend to sometimes questions, I don't think I do it on this syllabus, but sometimes questions like I just don't know where to start. Instead of writing out a paragraph of an answer, I might actually just say, hey, here's my Skype information, which again is already on the syllabus if you want to be go directly, skip email and go directly to Skype. But I'll do that. Here's my Skype information, or here's my FaceTime information. If you have a kind of a nebulous question like where do I start, that's kind of what we call a conversation starter. And I'll want to actually have some back and forth with you and help you get started, rather than kind of have a back and forth email exchange. And the reason why is because it does take a long time for both of us to read and write emails back and forth, when we could probably just answer your question in like 10 minutes or less, and help you get started earlier. I know that you probably have a lot on your plate. These classes are designed for people who are either working or they're away from school or insert variety of life circumstances. So you have other things to do. But I only have a couple other courses to teach on campus this summer. Um, so I'm pretty available. So if you say, hey, I've got a question, can you meet on Skype today? At least for the, you're lucky. As a summer session, I will be able to probably say, yeah, I can meet you online today, and we can talk. Have a live discussion about this or whatever your issue is. Um, I think between a combination of the content I've covered tonight and um, uh, support form and all that, I think that covers everybody's questions that I got over email as well. If I am forgetting that you had a personal issue that I need to give you feedback on, um, go ahead and email me again, I suppose. But I think I'm all caught up on emails. I didn't necessarily write you a response back because I am doing a kind of FAQ type thing, where I was like, oh, 5 people asked me where to buy the textbook, so I guess I better make sure they know. Um, so I may not have written you back, but if this video did not answer your question, or you have a question of a more individual slash personal nature, please go ahead and resend it. Otherwise, I'm thinking I'm all caught up on my correspondence. Well, I've been live for about 41 minutes. It doesn't seem like anyone has any questions. Thanks Evan for the suggestion there. I will maybe next time I'll put some light jazz in there, just very faintly in the background. Um, but I think this kind of concludes our first live broadcast. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to do that survey. There is that alternative link. It's now going to be one announcement down, I suppose. But there is an alternative link here so that you can. I've tested this before the stream went on. It works 100% of the time, so you should no longer have any issues accessing the questionnaire. This link should also bring you right here to this video. And again, if you came in late, don't worry. After I hit the offline button, clicking on this link or copy and pasting this link will bring you to a regular type YouTube video where you can watch this whole thing in its entirety from the beginning. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Thanks again. Have a great and pleasant evening. Remember that your assignment for this week is to uh, create and upload your intro speech. Again, it does take a while, guys. It does. Just to get yourself set up to where you can record the video to figuring out just how you're going to turn the darn thing in. It really can take you, 5 to 7 days. So go ahead and devote time to it. This is the only assignment I'm going to give you this week. I might contact you in the middle of the week with some lecture style course content. But I'm not going to expect you to do any written work with that. I'll just be trying to get the information out there so that we can start on it with next week's broadcast or whenever the next broadcast is. So that's what we're up to this week. Thanks again, guys and gals, and have a great evening.